We found a car from the future.
Wow, level 9 autopilot.
I used all my hands and all my feet.
Anyway, I think it helps.
Hello, welcome back. I'm Carl. In this video, we are going to add a heated steering wheel to this 2008 BMW E90 M3. Winter is coming. Who doesn't like a cozy driver's seat? In previous video, we had already prepared a power source for this retrofit. Please check the video if you haven't. With this retrofit, we expect to have original BMW comfort feature, original equipment, and original BMW system wiring. Now I'm going for a walk, and later when we come back, we will see how the heated steering wheel work in this cold temperature.
These are the essential parts for heated steering wheel retrofit. The steering wheel with heating function, the lower trim of the steering column, the clock spring, the 12-pin socket, the heater control module, and also the activation switch. And we need a 3-pin male socket. The heated steering wheel is wrapped with a heating pad inside the handle and also a thermistor inside to sense the temperature. So you are going to have 4 pins, 2 for the power, heating power, and 2 for the temperature sensing. You may get some steering wheel already equipped with this heating control module inside here. There are some other styles of a heated steering wheel on the market. For example, this one, original style, and with a thin grip, and including a heating control module. And or this one, sporty style, like a race car, which are a little bit D shape. This comes without a heating control module. The heating control module has a 4-pin input and 4-pin output. For the input side, there are 2 for the power and ground, and 2 for the switching signal. For the output part, there are also 4 pins, 2 for the power, 2 for temperature sensing. This is the clock spring that has a 4-pin extension to send power and the switching signal to the heated steering wheel. It is different from the original one on the car. The one on the left has a 6-pin, 6-pin. The one on the right, which we are going to use in this retrofit, has 12-pin, 6-pin. Because of the extra 4 pins we add to the steering wheel, it requires a 12-pin socket. You can buy original BMW parts for this 12-pin socket. However, you can also buy a compatible one. For example, this one with a coating here, it is slightly different from the shape of this 12-pin socket. It cannot go in. However, with a slight modification, this one will be compatible.
We just have to trim off the coating on the side so the socket can fit the clock spring. Now the socket fits the clock spring perfectly.
The switch is a single position switch. It has an LED on the side of the switch. When the steering wheel is working, the LED will light up. So it has 3 pins. 1 is ground, 1 is to power the LED, 1 is to send switch on signal to the heating control module. We also need a 3-pin male socket for the switch. This is the universal type. So if you find this in the catalog, it is belonging to the repair kit. It will accommodate any shape of the plugs on the car. You can also modify this coating to fit the sockets you already have, just for convenience. This is the lower trim of the steering column. So it has a mount to hold this switch, but in addition to this, the shape around this switch hole is a little different from the one we found the switch mount. You may modify the original one to accommodate the switch, but I feel it is safer to use the one specifically for the switch.
We also need some MQS receptacle contacts, both male and female, for our wire connection. Here is the receptacle contact to add a fuse for the heating power. We need 2 gauges of wire. These are 0.35 square millimeter and 0.75 square millimeter.
For E9X series, the heated steering wheel feature is available on LCI models. Here is an example of an E91 Touring. Let's go to Vehicle Management, Troubleshooting, look up in Function Structure, Body, General Vehicle Electrical System. You find Steering Wheel Heating. Click SSP for Wiring Diagram. Here are the main components in the wiring diagram: the fuse box, the clock spring, the heater control module, the heater switch, and the steering wheel with heater. Let's start with the power source. The power of heated steering wheel comes out from fuse number 5. It is on terminal 15 via a 10 amp fuse, so the wiring from fuse number 5 is via pin number 5 on plug X11001. Plug X11001 is on the back of the fuse box on the top right. The 15.5 mark here means that the power is coming out from terminal 15 via fuse number 5. 0.75 means the power wire has a gauge of 0.75 square millimeter. GN/RT here describes the color grün und rot, which means green and red in German. The wire's color is green with red stripe. The power wire runs to plug X10254. For left-hand drive cars, this plug X10254 is located behind the steering wheel, just above the driver's left ankle. The power wire then runs to pin number 9 of plug X10171 on the steering column switch center. Plug X10171 is the 12-pin plug we talked about earlier. Then the power goes through the steering wheel switch center. It goes out via pin number 2 of plug X01004 of the clock spring. The power comes out from pin number 2. Then the power goes via a black wire, Schwarz, here, to the heater control module. Then the power goes to wire on pin number 1 to the heating coil in the steering wheel. The grounding is pin number 4. As we mentioned earlier, the other 2 pins on the heated steering wheel are for the temperature sensing. So wire number 2 and number 3 carries the resistance signal from the thermistor and goes to the heating control module. The grounding wire from the heater control module goes to pin number 1 on the clock spring. Then it goes back to the fuse box from pin number 7 of the 12-pin plug, X10171, to pin 25 of X14 to 72 on the fuse box, which we are going to see later. The last one we are going to talk about is the heater switch, whose location is on the side of the lower trim of the steering column. There are 3 pins on the heater switch.
the grounding wire from pin number 2 goes to pin number 7 on plug X14272. This wire has a gauge of 0.35 square millimeter with a brown color. The wire on pin number 1 carries the switch on signal, and the wire on pin number 3 carries the power to light up the LED on the heater switch. The wire from pin number 1 on the heater switch goes to pin number 12, and the one from pin number 3 on the heater switch goes to pin number 10 of plug X10171. This is the exact wiring diagram I use on my car, which is working flawlessly. If you have any confusion or doubt during wiring, come back and check this wiring diagram anytime. This is the mock-up of the heated steering wheel. Our main element is here, the steering wheel with heating function, the heater control module, and the activation push switch. Let's switch on the power now. 12-volt supply, and activate the system by single press. You'll see the LED lights up and the heater begin to work. You can see the current for this heater is about 5 amp. That's pretty large. The voltage sent into the heating pad is not constant. It is fluctuating, going back and forth. The voltage is about between 5 and 8 volts. The heating pad is working happily. Okay, with the fluctuating voltage, you can see the current that also fluctuates between 0 and 5 amp. Now we are going to switch off the heater just by single press. The LED goes off and the current goes to 0. We are going to... It is the BMW procedure to disconnect the car battery before removing the airbags. For your safety, please do follow the instructions. Okay, first we need a tool, a very simple tool to release the airbag. And now let's insert the tool to push the spring. One pin is released. We have to release the other side. We do the same. Okay, so now we released the airbag. And disconnect plug. Here we have a T20 ground. And be careful not to lose this screw. And remove one ground. So now the airbag is removed. Okay, now we use a socket number 16 to release this center screw. If you are working alone, you can use your knees to squeeze the steering wheel with a lot of force. Okay, now the steering wheel is released. We proceed to remove the upper trim of this steering wheel column and lower trim. We push the trim a little bit. And also the same thing for the other side. Okay, the upper trim is released. We can adjust the column a little bit to make room. To remove the lower one, we have to unclip the clip here. Okay, let's go ahead. We have 2 plugs to remove. One, the other, we have a lever here. The gray one. Okay. Now we are ready to remove this whole cluster. I've broken the mount, but it's okay. This one has to go anyway. Okay, let's take out the pins on this 6-pin plug and replace it with 12 pin. Okay, done. To make the work simple, I plan to run the wires from the steering wheel along this cable from the lower part of the steering column to the passenger side via the bottom of the air conditioner. Let's connect the pin for 12-pin socket. The pin assignments are all written on this side. Number 1 is on the right bottom. Number 12 is on the left top. Number 1 brown. Number 2 is brown with yellow stripe. Number 3, yellow with brown stripe. Number 4 is yellow with black stripe. Number 5 is gray with brown stripe. The last one, number 6, is gray with black stripe. Okay, we have transferred the original wires from the 6-pin to the 12-pin socket. For the switch signal, we have to add additional 4 pins. From the wiring diagram, the power is number 9. I'll take this blue wire with green stripe as the power to number 9. I'll choose this blue wire with brown stripe as ground at number 7. Done. Alright. Blue wire for pin number 10 is prepared. 10. Okay, sit tight. All locked in place. Okay, now let's make up the wire. I placed the lower trim near the steering column, so we have a rough idea how long should we make the wire. So I think I'm going to wire these two like this, and the connector is sitting around here. According to the wiring diagram, pin number 1 will go to pin number 12. Pin number 3 will go to pin number 10 on the 12-pin plug. It should be like this. Okay, check one more time before you make the connection. Pin number 12, go to number 1. Pin number 10 goes to pin number 3. Okay, now this goes to pin number 2. And we lock the plug in place. Okay, now we can do the wiring to the fuse box. These 3 wires are going to the fuse box, so I wrap them together. I just figure out a way to make the wire straight by pulling with your foot. Anyway, I think it helps. And let's now make the arrangement of the wires near the steering column. We have a cable holder here. I'm doing this just because I don't want to waste any tape. Just attach to the steering column. Okay. Now I think they are ready. Let's wire cable to the passenger side. Okay, that's better. Be very careful to align the marks here so we can swap on our spiral clock spring without any problem. Let's put the plugs in. Okay, all connected. Next, let's install the lower trim of the steering column. Insert the switch, and be careful, there's a coding here corresponding to coding here. So when we install, be careful not to pinch your wires. Push all the way up. Be sure these clips are sitting tight and firm. Also for the left side. It's okay for the right hand side. Hold down. Ooh la la. I think you already realize that the mount of heater control module doesn't fit to that one on the steering wheel. So when you are looking for the steering wheel and the heater control module, be sure to check this out. But for me, there's no big deal. I'm going to modify this mount and fix the heater control module to the steering wheel with our Velcro tape. Let's cut off the mount. Okay, sits here nice and firmly. Now the steering wheel is going back in. The bolt. The manual says we have to tighten this bolt to 63 Newton meter. Okay, we have to arrange the wires carefully because we want to avoid pinching these wires after we put in the airbag. Be sure to push the edges of the steering wheel so it fits the trim cover. Both, okay. Both ground points are done. And we place in carefully not to pinch the wires behind the airbag. Be very careful. And push. Let's use my endoscope as the shuttle for wiring. You can see the harness here. Okay, we reach the other side. Come on. Okay, let's place a hook here. Okay, let's hook up the wire. This may be enough. Let's go. Gently pull. And let's be careful not to damage anything. So I have arranged the wire coming from the steering column to fit. So it is going to go this way to join along the main harness. Okay, the length is adjusted. According to the wiring diagram, the harness will join the connector X14272, the black one at the bottom of the fuse box. The following demonstration is run with the blue connector. The two grounding wires of the heated steering wheel will go to pin number 7 and number 25 of the connector X14272. First, we have to remove the connector case and then split the two plugs inside to locate these two pins. After crimping the contacts and inserting them to their designated pins, the grounding part is completed. Next, we are going to take electric power from the fuse box via an isolated fuse. Please refer to episode 2 about how to add a fuse for your new device, and also episode 3 about extending terminal 15, which will provide power for the heated steering wheel. Is enough? In previous video, I have already established relays for terminal 15. So this way we can work more simpler. The power for the heated steering wheel will go to one relay. The ground will just go to the ground point. Okay, power contact is prepared. let's use this relay from fuse 24. Okay, insert it, and let's do some protection. Okay, so our relays are protected. We have connected the power of a heated steering wheel to fuse slot 24. Now we add a 10 amp fuse according to the wiring diagram to fuse slot 24. Okay, at this moment the wiring part for heated steering wheel is done. Finally, it's time to recover the passenger side. Please refer to the episode 2 about restoring the fuse box and the glove box. It is going to take some time and effort. Have fun! We took a walk in the Tatajia recreation area in the Yushan National Park. The elevation here is around 2,600 meters, which is the highest point of the new Central Cross Island Highway in Taiwan.
空起来的海苔，很难得看到这个。
Frost, even snow are rare to see because Taiwan is a tropical island.
Oh, cool! 哇，结霜。Wow, it's really rare in Taiwan.
Even if it is in winter time. We were so lucky today to receive the gift from nature.
Wow! Wow, it's really cold outside, so let's get the heated steering wheel working. Okay, let's get going. The first impression that it gave me is the firm grip and fine grain on this leather finish. It is artificial leather, unlike the original one on the M3, which is genuine Napa leather. If you ask me which one I prefer, I will choose the original BMW M3 steering wheel. Second is about its operation. This heater activation switch is behind the steering wheel, below the wiper switch, which you cannot see directly. You have to move your head around to see the switch, which is kind of distracting when you are driving. But it is still okay. You just reach out your right hand and feel the switch and give it one press, then the heater is on. Third is about its temperature. Actually, it is not that hot as you expect. The temperature it heats up is close to your body temperature. But like we tried out in the cold weather, when your hands are already freezing, this steering wheel really gives you a warm grip. In summary, this heated steering wheel is really comfortable and satisfying. Although we don't have so many cold weathers here in Taiwan, it may not be very useful for some of us. But I really enjoyed the DIY part and had a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough too. See you next time in next video.